Welcome into the Cardinals Squad Show. My name is Benjamin Garcia, host of the Ben Garcia Show mornings on YouTube, and a credentialed Arizona sports media member. Is this finally the game where Marvin Harrison Jr. truly lives up to his nickname, Maserati Marv? We'll talk about it.
Jamil Douglas, former NFL offensive lineman. Does the Cardinals offense show some life and get back on track versus Seahawks?
Alex Clancy, Locked on Cardinals. And can the Cardinals do the most Cardinal-y thing ever in Cardinals history and get a convincing win at home after the crap box showing in Week 3 against San Francisco? Let's get it, baby.
Rise up, Red Sea. It's the Cardinals Squad. Everything Arizona Cardinals every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the Valley of the Sun. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Gear up and squad up. The Cardinals Squad Show starts now.
Welcome back into the Cardinals Squad Show, here with you on a Tuesday where we've got a lot of things to dive into. A Thursday night football game where, man, we should just have the conversation if they should even be having these games on Thursday night, with sometimes how lackluster they can be. We'll talk about that. The Cardinals Seahawks game. We'll talk about James Conner's injury, Marvin Harrison Jr., some of his woes. But first, today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Football season is right around the corner. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now. Let's start with Marvin Harrison Jr. He's been the topic of conversation. We saw kind of the video of him get, I don't want to say emotional, but definitely a little upset with how the 49ers game went. Marvin Harrison Jr. at this point, week 4 into the season. Clancy, what are you going to expect? And, how do they get this guy finally back on track?
I mean, here's the thing. Like, these guys are kids, man. Like, when it comes down to it, I mean, they're young men, okay? Jamil probably can attest to this more than you and me could ever, where it's like you're expected to do Herculean things right away. And that's not even on top of being the top 5 pick, being looked at as the next Larry Fitzgerald, which if that's not difficult enough, your dad being a Hall of Fame wide receiver as is, like, I had this kind of like epiphany over the weekend after the game where we were pissed and it was the Cardinals offense was terrible and all that stuff. It's like, this kid had no shot coming out of the gate. Unless he was 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns, and just the next great thing immediately, it was going to be looked at as a disappointment, even though that's absolutely ridiculous. So going into year 2, where it's like, okay, so this is the year. Little slow start. He had 5 for 71 and a touchdown week 1 in a run-first offense where he's the second option in the pass game. It's like, give the dude some grace a little bit. That's kind of where I'm at. It's like, he's already the number 4 overall pick. That can't be changed. His dad was a Hall of Famer. That can't be changed. Let's just focus on what's going on with him now and how they can make him more of a focal point in the offense. And what a better time than when James Conner is out for the year. Like, I'm just kind of looking at it that way. It's like, give the kid a little grace here.
Yeah, give him some grace. This is going to be, and I know I don't want to preview the Seahawks too soon, but this is a good defense in which he's going to go against a really good corner in Witherspoon and even Darion Kendrick from the Rams. Actually, he was with the Rams last year. These are 2 solid corners that he's going to be matched up against on a short week. I feel like Marv is in a space where he just needs to make one big play. And once he can do that, it's kind of like you get that confidence back and you start to roll. It's like the whole shooter shoot type of thing, We want to see him go up on top of somebody or make maybe a one-handed or even just a solid 2-hand catch and, take a hit and give us a first down signal, something like that. Like, we're that small of a piece away from, I think, him coming back to life. That's all I can really say from a standpoint of, like, does he get it going? It just takes one play for a guy like he's talented. We've seen him do it in college. We don't need to overcomplicate or reinvent the wheel when it comes to playing wide receiver. Just make a play, get your confidence back, and that's all it takes. We've seen receivers go through this all the time. Like, it's nothing out of the ordinary. It's just the fact that, like Clancy said, he's Marvin Harrison's son. He's trying to take plays for Larry Fitzgerald. There's a lot of weight around it where he just needs to play football and not worry about the external things. Make one play and get back on track.
I mean, I don't want to rag on Marvin Harrison Jr. anymore. People, I think, know at this point how I feel, and I don't think he's lived up to any expectations, much less the great ones that Clancy were talking about. But Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't had a 100-yard game, and I'm looking at it right now, in his last 12 games. He is the 4th overall pick. At some point, that is a get the ball to him issue. And one thing that the Cardinals still haven't done, like we're switching this over from a Marv conversation to now a Cardinals conversation in Drew Petzing and Jonathan Gannon. I think they both have equal to at least some blame into this, whatever, pie chart of blame at this point, where they don't do the easy stuff for Marv. Like, I understand him dropping a pass because he's been cold all game. Like, I understand that argument if he was a 2nd or a 3rd round guy. You just need to catch the ball. But still, there is that argument to be made. They don't run reverses to him or end arounds or.
I don't want to see Marv running a reverse.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
The point is not him at the running back position. The point is, I'm not trying to turn him into CeeDee Lamb or, Ty Montgomery years ago. The point is just get the ball to him in creative ways. I don't care what it looks like. If it's a quick screen pass to start the game, like we used to do with Larry Fitzgerald to get his his reception streak to continue, just do that. Like run a screen for him. I don't care. Run an end around, something, but get the guy involved early, because I have noticed he does disengage kind of quickly, and that's a him issue more than that. But Jamil, yeah, go for it.
He's a number 2 option in this offense. Trey McBride is wide receiver 1 and tight end 1. Yeah. Like,
could you argue he was 3 behind Connor?
Sure.
Connor got injured?
Sure. I'm saying from a pass game standpoint, though, he's not the number 1 option. So I would like to see number 2 receivers that have had 100-yard games, because I think that's pretty universal around the league. A lot of number 2 receivers don't, unless you have a Jamar Chase opposite or a AJ Brown opposite. A lot of receivers don't have those big games when you're the number 2 option. It just he could be the 2nd or 3rd option in an offense that doesn't look for him to get involved like a number 1 receiver would. Yeah, I was watching. Sorry, Clancy. No, the Rams game. I saw Puka Nacua get fed the ball for about 3 drives straight. And it was simple. Just sit down in a zone, and we're going to take the 10 yards that you sit down in. Like, I have to believe within my mind that Marv can sit down in a zone and just have a possession catch and move on from there. Like, so there is some ownership from a standpoint of coaching to get this guy the ball in advantageous situations.
Yeah, I wonder, like, the only real downside, and obviously there's a couple more. I mean, Michael Wilson's numbers haven't been fantastic, even though they had a touchdown against Carolina. Like, put him in the slot. Like, get frisky with it. Like, that's what resurrected Larry Fitzgerald's career. And I'm not saying, I mean, Larry Fitzgerald was probably 13 years older, or whatever, in 2015, 10 years older than Marv is now when he moved in the slot, because BA gave him, the 4th wind in his career. But, like, yeah, you got to get it early. But there is so, like, unlike T. Higgins, unlike Jordan Addison, unlike guys like that, who are never going to be the best receiver on their own team. They're never going to be the number 1 option because they've got to do this better, and that's fine. That's a great problem to have. Marv can 100% become the first option in this offense if he lives up to 80% of what we saw in college. Like, the opportunity is bountiful for him to do it. He's just got to go get it. And we've seen – this isn't like a Jalen Reagor or Kevin White or, name the bust wide receiver here. Like, this isn't that. I don't care that he went number 4 overall. It's not an argument against his production right now. They took the best player available at number 4 overall. Like, looking at it is a crutch against rationally what we're looking at. It already happened. It doesn't matter. You're the number 4 overall pick, so you must hit these benchmarks. I think that's irrational. Like, they need to figure out a way to get him the ball. That's it. And we're going to see in Seattle, if it gets worse, we can have other conversations about Petzing and stuff like that. Like, this game is going to be a determining factor on the very, very early narrative surrounding this team. But Marv's got nothing but opportunity with James Conner on the shelf now.
Well, I mean, I think the 4-pick argument I think is pretty fair for Marv, given the fact that he was, like you and I have both seen before, one of the highest rated players ever in terms of prospects.
Yeah.
So maybe I just have way too high of an expectation for Marv, which has never been 1,600 yards or 1,500 yards. I always thought he was a 1,250 yards, 8 touchdowns a year kind of guy. I never thought he was Fitz or anything like that. But I forget that argument because we've bickered about it, and I see your point. Why does Drew Petzing and simultaneously Jonathan Gannon never feel the need to get this guy involved? And I understand you're like, well, Trey McBride's awesome. Well, okay, let's go back to their last few games dating back to last year. Lost to Seattle, lost to Minnesota, lost to Seattle. They beat New England, losing to Carolina, losing to the Rams. These were games that mattered at the end of the season, and they never found like the missing link on offense. And they continue to lose games that actually matter, not the Panthers, not the Saints to start the season. And it just doesn't feel like there's any sense of urgency to get this guy involved. It's almost like they're saying to themselves, nah, if he's a bust, he's a bust. Like, whatever, we'll just draft another guy. And it's like, you drafted the guy. If he was never meant to be this number 1 wide receiver, why did you take him? But
because he's the best player available at 4. He was the steal of the draft at number 4 overall. Like, he very well could have gone 1 if Caleb Williams didn't exist. Like, that's the thing. It's like, yes, barely 900 yards or almost 900 yards and 8 touchdowns his rookie year. Okay. That was the worst version of a good rookie season for a dude who went number 4 overall. Sometimes it takes guys a little bit longer to pop, is all I'm saying. We've seen, oh my God, moments from him. Not every receiver has that. I don't care how high you were drafted. It's also the case that you want to look at Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr., their teams had collective wins combined what the Cardinals had last year. So he wasn't drafted to save the offense. I've been saying this since he was drafted. He was the 3rd option. It's his job to go get it and be that next option. So when you're drafted not to be in Malik Neighbors, who has won 3 games in a year and 3 weeks in New York, when you're be a part of an offensive cog, it's different. There's less pressure to produce. Now, there's more pressure to produce now because James Conner's out, and this is a perfect chance for him to go get it. Like, what a great story if he had, 7 for 100 and a touchdown on Thursday and just shut up everybody. It's like, yeah, I can do this.
Great. It'd be great.
And that last thing, that catch, that almost catch that was the pass interference on Zay Jones, that ball wasn't for him. He jumped out of the screen to get that ball, and he almost came down with it. That would have been a top 10 play if he would have come down with that ball. That wasn't for him. In San Francisco, they ended up scoring anyways, but like his athleticism is not questioned.
Yeah,
I just don't want to get too.
I know you.
I don't want to be I just don't want to get too high on. Well, he almost made a really good play. If he had this stock in him that he was, living up to this expectation as the 6th overall pick, like Malik Neighbors was, or 7th overall pick, and he misses that catch, like, oh man, if you would have had that, that would have just been the exclamation point on a great day. I don't want to pump up almost catches until you've earned that right. But Jamil, I'm sorry, continue.
We want to see the ball in Marv's hands, point blank, period. Regardless of how he gets it. We talked about Larry Fitzgerald. I remember vividly Larry Fitzgerald getting shovel passes, coming across the formation, getting a quick screen to where he doesn't even have to run a route. Ball snap is straight out to him. He's got blockers in front of him. Mm-hmm. We got to get that going for Marv. Like, Drew Petzing needs to draw up things where he can just line up out there, run a quick stop route, get the ball to him, make someone miss, and go get some yak. Like, that's what we want. We just want to see the ball in his hands. Once he gets the ball in his hands, he can make things happen just based off his pure talent alone. But I would like to stay away from, like, he's a bust, because
he's not a bust.
I don't think that he's a bust. I think that we got to get the ball in his hands, man. And it doesn't matter how it happens. Just get it to him.
Why don't I listen? Maybe this is just, make a wish,
because he's number 2. He's number 3 in the offense.
Why don't, because we know, like, I think we could all agree collectively, the guy's confidence isn't super high right now, or at least that's what I saw in the press conference after the game in the media scrums. First play of the game, just throw him the ball. I don't care if it's a shovel pass. Like, do whatever you want. Just first play of the game, get the ball in his hands. Immediately let him touch it. Let him know what it feels like. Let him know what it feels like to actually bring it in. Like, I think just getting it to him early and often would do a lot for him. And even if he's not ever lives up to Marvin Harrison Jr., the name, like, we would all agree. He had a really nice catch early in that 49ers game where I believe it was 4th down. Kyler threw the ball behind him. He snagged it, got the first down, kept the drive rolling. The Cardinals ended up scoring on that drive. Like, I see the talent. It just feels like at this point, get the ball to him so we can at least get his confidence up. I mean, I would just like to see the ball to him immediately. Anyone else got anything else on Marvin for right now?
No, that's exactly what I said. Get him a shovel pass, get him a quick stop
right away,
route, and let him make someone miss and go get a first down or something.
Let's move on to the rest of the offensive woes. Drew Petzing, I think, has got some blame. We can debate maybe if Jonathan Gannon's got some blame. But more than anything, James Conner's out for the rest of the year. He's got what they are now calling a foot injury. What are the Cardinals' offense going to look like? What should it look like? And is Trey Benson finally going to step up? Let's talk about it all next. But first, today's show is brought to you by our friends over at Supply House. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. The real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting on projects, while their leading industry customer service always has your blind spot covered. Listen, I'm closing on a house here pretty soon in about 2 weeks. We're stoked about it. But it's a used house. Someone lived there before. There's some things that are missing, and you best believe I'm going to call my friends over at Supply House to help kind of maybe fix up a couple of things, allow me to get some projects done that I don't want waiting over for 6 months over my head. So join the free Trade Master program and score some serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHNFL5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. All right, let's keep the show rolling here. The Cardinals have some real offensive woes, not even naming Marvin Harrison Jr. James Conner is out for the season. Trey McBride was fine on Sunday. I wouldn't say he was amazing. Michael Wilson, every time he gets an opportunity, it feels like he's succeeding at it, but he's just not getting the opportunities. Now that James Conner is gone, what should the offense look like now? Is it back where it was before and just Trey Benson steps in the role along with Michael Carter or Bam Knight? Jamil, we'll go to you first.
I think we got to supplement those carries in getting Kyler involved in the run game. We've been talking about it. There has to be some more designed quarterback runs, not just him kind of scrambling, and calling that a QB run. There needs to be, whether it's a read option, the thing that, and I said this on Sunday, I do think Trey Benson gives you a little bit more pop from a standpoint of the elusiveness in the run game. Like, we've seen him break big runs. I think with a week, I mean, it's a short week, but he's going to be with the first offense this whole time. I think we're going to see a better product out of him. Not that he's been bad, but I feel like Kyler has to, or at least they have to call plays to loosen up the box and allow the box to just, I mean, realistically, you should pile the box and say, Kyler, beat us with your arm at this point. You got to, the job of the offensive coordinator now is to get that box a little bit more open. And by doing that, it's read option. It may be a speed option wrinkle or something of that nature, just to show that, okay, if you want to pile the box, we'll beat you around the edge with Kyler. So I expect there to be some more dialed runs. I still think Trey McBride's targets are going to be way up, but I just expect there to be some design runs for Kyler.
I mean, yeah, the thing about, I mean, if I'm the Seahawks, I'm putting 14 players in the box. It's like, do something else. And you haven't really been able to do it for extended periods of time. If it's me, I'm not necessarily like I would say it's going to necessarily change. But what I do think needs to change is Kyler had 35 pass attempts, less than 5 yards in attempt on Sunday. This is what needs to change. The attempts need to go down. The yardage down the field needs to go up. And I'm not saying like 20 yards downfield. I'm saying throw 7-yard slants, throw 10-yard slants, 10-yard outs. Like just because a pass attempt is a pass attempt. And I know like Darren Lewis, who's an everydayer, Kevin McKenna, who's an everydayer who watches both of these. I go back and forth with them about his pass attempts. I'm like, the majority of his pass attempts aren't pass attempts. They're run plays that happen to be thrown 3 yards. Like that's not – he threw the ball 35 times on Sunday. And like I'd rather it be 25 and his average air yards per throw be over, 7 to 10 yards. That's the little edits that need to happen in this offense. And when you see 35 pass attempts and less than 15 targets between Marv and Trey, something's wrong. Like that's going to be it. For the rest of the season, you put the ball in Kyler Murray's hands more and you let him win for you or lose for you, and you will figure out who your quarterback is at the end of 2025. That's it. He's the best player on the field. I don't care what people think. He's the best player on the damn field. He can do the most things, and he's got the ball in his hands, downset hike. So I agree running the ball, but Jamil, like they're not very inventive with it, except for that play action quarterback boot that we saw. They got almost the first down on the last drive was great, but he runs for it. He has 3-yard attempts unless it's some broken play where he scampers.
My worry with opening it up from I agree they should, but my worry around that is we get a little bit more of Kyler having some arid throws because he's trying to force things to work down the field. That's my only worry. I don't know. I agree with you from a standpoint.
Then so be it. You got to live by the quarterback or die by the quarterback. You're not going to live by the run game, especially with James Conner out. Yeah. You're just not like, right? I mean, at this point, it's like, how long are we going to have the training wheels on?
No, for sure. I agree. I just feel like there also has to be, like you said, they're going to pile the box.
Yeah.
You got to figure out a way to loosen the box up as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the biggest thing that I wanted to see this season is Kyler Murray the guy? I wanted to make a firm opinion on this for the final time this season, going into year 7. Like, we should already know, but Clancy has made this point before. He's right. Cliff Kingsbury, he didn't say this, but I'll say it, was an utter buffoon of a head coach. Jonathan Gannon brings in stability, but now we have an offensive coordinator that is coddling him and not allowing him to throw the ball deep downfield. I've made the argument before that I think maybe this is what Jonathan Gannon wants. Maybe he's your stereotypical defensive coach that says protect the ball, be conservative, run clock, play keep away, score 20 points a game, and I'll do the rest. I don't think that that's only one possibility that maybe Jonathan Gannon wants to do. But at some point, we need to figure out if Kyler Murray's the guy, and I don't think we're any closer to figuring that out. I don't think week 3 was a fair judgment to say it was his fault. I think there was a combination of things with Kyler being, I guess, one of the culprits in there, but I don't think the biggest. But yes, throw it downfield. But this team is going to miss James Conner running the football. Last year when Conner went out, the offense got anemic in the Rams game, like horrendously, and as well as in the Carolina Panthers game towards the end of it. It was nice to see them open up the playbook a little bit when Conner got injured, but then it kind of went away quickly. And here's the other thing. Kyler needs to run the ball more to help make up for James Conner. All we heard in the offseason was Kyler Murray wants to run more. He's going to run more. That's who he is. Last year, through 3 games, Kyler Murray had 161 rushing yards, and we all thought probably needs to run a little bit more than that. Not crazy, but a little bit more than that. This year, he's ran for 107 rushing yards through 3 games. We heard that they wanted to throw the ball to Marv more. We heard they wanted to throw it downfield more. We heard that Kyler wants to run more. Nothing that they've said has come to fruition at this point. So I think Kyler Murray, to Clancy's point and to your point, got to do a little bit of both.
Yeah. You know what I would like to see from the Cardinals offense? I would like to see them go up tempo, no huddle. I think that would serve them well. It kind of gets the defenses to show you vanilla looks. And now you can really kind of just, we may call it dink and dunk or take what the defense gives you, but it just brings something different to the offense. Like Kyler has the ability to run a no huddle offense. Sprinkle that in as a supplement to, okay, we don't have our lead back in the game. Let's change something up. Like go no huddle and spread the defense out and kind of see if you could take advantage of the tempo there. I think that would serve them well. Don't know if we'll get it, but I think it would be a nice little wrinkle for them.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see. I mean, Kyler's been very good in the intermediate routes, throwing out routes to the sideline. That's what he's been very, very good at, especially over the last couple of years, whether it's Michael Wilson. We saw it from Trey McBride. We saw Marv. Like, if that's what he's comfortable with and you have to move the pocket so we can roll out to the right or roll out to the left and you can get chunk plays that way, like, it'll open up everything. The up-tempo thing I like. I mean, it's something that I think they're going to be forced into. You know what's funny? Like, James Conner is the antithesis of an up-tempo person, like running back. He's more laboring. He's obviously super strong and thick, and like I swear he's 6'3". There's no way he's not 6'3". He looks taller than everybody by a long shot. I don't understand it. But he needs, like with him, John, it's going to force the issue for them to get lighter. Like Trey Benson's lighter. He's younger. He's a different back. And you've got a lot of young, very athletic, talented dudes, skill position dudes on offense. You may just have to throw the book out and just be like, bleep it. Like, try something completely different, because the first 3 weeks, and I know the numbers have been off, but the game script was effed during the first 2 weeks. Like, you can't really look at that as a barometer for this. Week 3 you can. But overall, this offense has enough firepower to do a lot more than they're doing. And they have a very difficult opponent coming in. And again, that they got to win, or we're going to be having different conversations. And nobody thinks they're going to win. Nobody thinks they're going to win on Thursday now.
Perfect segue, because I wanted to mention this before, we go into our next topic. Is Drew Petzing, like, I do think there's an argument to be made that maybe James Conner, that maybe Jonathan Gannon was like backing his guy on Sunday when the knives were out for Drew Petzing, the pitchforks, the torches, ready to take him right out of town. And maybe Jonathan Gannon wanted to kind of simmer that down a little bit, say it's my fault, blame me. And in the office is saying, hey man, it's time to open up the playbook a little bit. Is there any sense of you that feels like Drew Petzing is coaching for his job this week? No. Or do you think Gannon's right behind him?
I don't think this week, but I do think it's becoming a thing. Like, I'll say that. I don't think it's this week, but it's definitely something that when coaches get put in a position of this is the last extent that we're dealing with it, it's always interesting to see which side they take. So in terms of, Jonathan Gannon backing Drew Petzing, if this continues to stay like this for the next 4 or 5 weeks, I'd be curious to see if he has the same response. But I don't think he's there yet.
No. Absolutely not.
So we're going to have harsher conversations if this offense doesn't open up again, Clancy. I guess I would ask you that as a follow-up, because ultimately I would think the first conversation is you don't have $50 million, $45 million a year tied up in Drew Petzing. I could understand that before they say, let's get rid of Kyler, they would get rid of Petzing. And I feel like they'd want to do that sooner rather than later, correct?
Not necessarily. Why? Just because nobody else on this coaching staff has been an offensive coordinator before. So do you want to throw in a first-time offensive coordinator with no real scheme to
really good point. It's a really good point.
Like, that's the thing. This isn't a Mike McCoy thing. Like, that's what it's getting grouped with, where he got fired after Thursday Night Football against Denver with Josh Rosen.
It was 3 games.
They had a bunch of turnovers and Josh Rosen looked terrible and he got canned. It's like, okay, Mike McCoy was a bad head coach. Peyton Manning should get 10% of everything he ever made when he was the head coach, or he was a coordinator over in Denver, when they blew all the record books out with Julius Thomas, Marius Thomas, Eric Decker. Like, this isn't that. Drew Petzing has put together a top 5 run offense each year that he's been an offensive coordinator. They're second in the league in rushing yards now. That's not something that people can just do. Is he perfect? Of course not. Does it lack vision? Absolutely. Are they maximizing the talent that they have? No. But that doesn't mean that he's a bottom 5 offensive coordinator in the league. And that's the tough part. All the Arizona Cardinals as an entity are beige. They're not red. They're not black. It's right. It's a C plus B minus, just like this organization has always been when things are supposed to be good. It's right in the middle.
Yeah. I think the problem is
pretty
yes,
good.
they have. That is pretty. That's one of your better ones. Top 5 rushing offense every year, but the league is a passing league. Yes, you have to be able to run the ball in order to close out games and to play in January and February. You also, just as important, that you're able to air it out when you need to, because playing it safe doesn't get you anywhere, and we know that. So there does have to be some sort of adjustment. It will blow my mind if they're not talking about that upstairs. Like, there's no way that they're sitting up there and they're wondering, or they're thinking that their pass game is fine. Like, at some point this year, it's going to click. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. One quick thing, and Jamil, you said something I don't necessarily agree with Kyler Murray, like the maybe squeezing it in down the field and stuff. If you're gonna mess up big. Who cares? Don't be careful anymore. Don't be safe. I think that's what the offense is like. Oh, Kyler Murray's 20 for 30 for 270 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Sign me up. Yeah. I don't care how many interceptions. This isn't Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers having 2 interceptions. He has, like, who cares?
I agree.
If you're going to make mistakes, make them big, especially on 3rd down. If it's
take a punt, dude.
Take a shot.
But are we talking about from a coordinator standpoint or a Kyler standpoint? Because I don't think that Kyler wants that flag. I don't think he wants the I threw.
Check out of the play call. There's always a hot route on every play. If you see something, we would have seen more from him if that were the case 100%. I think he likes, not for numbers wise. It's like, oh, look at my completion percentage. Look at my QBR. It's great. Like, that's not why. But it's like, he likes to be efficient. And why he does those little pumps is like, okay, I could probably take a shot there, but there may be something better. Take that shot. Let Marv go get it. Like, I want more of that out of this offense. Not the 3 flies up with 2 defenders on 3rd and 12 that won't be completed. Like, 2nd and 2, just let it rip.
This is a really good point from Darren Lewis, who said that's why they got 2 big PIs in the past 2 weeks.
That was a big part of BA's offense, was grip it and rip it, and they were able to get a bunch of PIs down the field.
Mm-hmm. And Marv, to his credit, has been pretty good getting guys to commit on those pass interference. Here's the last thing I'll say on Drew, because I know we're running out of time here. Clancy has absolutely had a very good point with Drew Petzing's being able to have one of the top rushing offenses in the NFL. This year, they're 16th in rushing yards, 16th. So if Drew Petzing's only thing that he's been really good at starts to take a nosedive, and then we start to point to maybe it was Clayton Adams, maybe not. I agree with you guys. I don't think they're going to move off him this week, but there's got to be a quicker trigger finger to this, because this team is good. And you don't get a lot of chances to win in the NFL. You have to take them when they're there. And you can't be holding on to this guy just because maybe you see something different in him. But I still will attest that I think maybe this is a little bit more Jonathan Gannon than we're giving it credit for. Let's move on to a Seattle Seahawks preview. We got a lot of questions here. Who's the better quarterback? How do the Cardinals defend Sam Darnold and Kenneth Walker? And I think Zach Charbonnet is injured right now. Jackson Smith and Jigba is still there. The defense, let's talk about that and much more as we go into Thursday night next. But first, today's show is brought to you by our friends over at the FanDuel Sportsbook. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Hey, that Cardinals line, just this morning, the Cardinals were favored -1.5. That's flipped on its head just a couple of hours ago. Now it's the Seattle Seahawks that are favored in this game, -1.5. That means all that money started to come in on the Seattle Seahawks. That line moved a little bit, so maybe you want to stay away from that game. But hey, the Buffalo Bills are playing the New Orleans Saints at home this weekend and are like a -900 favorite. Nothing's for sure in the world of betting, but something, as for sure as it get could be just betting that $5 on that Bills money line to take care of business of Spencer Rattler and the New Orleans Saints. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. All right, let's start with this Seattle Seahawks preview. Let's dive deep into it. Let's start from it in a defensive perspective. I think we know how opposing teams are going to try to stop the Arizona Cardinals, try to bracket Trey McBride, dare them to throw to Marvin Harrison Jr., and cross your fingers on Trey Benson right now. What should the Cardinals do to come out with a W and limit the Seattle Seahawks offense, which has been pretty good, and I think one of the shockers of the NFL to start the season, Clancy?
I mean, you got to pick your poison. Like, for me, with how good the pass rush has been numbers-wise when they've actually utilized it, I think what I say is you got to cut the head off the snake. Like, you got to make Sam Darnold make mistakes and just deal with it over the top. Like, a lot of it's going to have to do with if Will Johnson's going to play. He didn't practice again, so I'm assuming he's not going to play on a short week, and they're going to give him that extended time before they play Tennessee next week. There's a lot of trust with that's going to have to be put into the hands of young corners who probably shouldn't be playing the snaps they're playing with Denzel Burke and Keitrell Clark right now, even though Keitrell Clark would be pretty good. Like, it's going to be, hey, Budda Baker, David Taylor-Demerson, and Jalen Thompson. Take care of that back there with Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp, and we're just going to rush the house. Like, I feel like that's a much better option than playing it safe and having death by 1,000 cuts and letting Sam Darnold eat you apart.
Yeah. I mean, the quick and easy answer is they've got to force a turnover somehow, some way. You got to gain a possession for the offense. Like, realistically, like, this Seahawks team, when you look at their roster, they've got a really solid roster. Running backs, receivers, Sam Darnold can light you up if he's feeling good. So they got to force a turnover, man. The defense, the pass rush has to be there. A tip and an overthrow, they have to come down with it. Like, it just has to be that type of game where, we see them come away with something. So that's the quick and easy answer. That's the best way that I can put it on a short week.
That's right.
I'm eating my words a little bit on the Seattle Seahawks and just how good they've been this season. They are the number 1 ranked team in the NFL by DVOA. They are the 6th ranked offense. They are the 5th ranked defense, and they're the 1st ranked special teams. What Mike McDonald is doing over in Seattle is what you hoped Jonathan Gannon could do in Arizona. And if you're talking about, out scheming a guy defensively, this is about as creative as it gets. But I think it really comes down to, can you make Sam Darnold see ghosts, circa his rookie season when the New England Patriots caught him on a hot mic on Monday Night Football. Get pressure, try to bracket Jackson Smith and Jigba. But what I'm really interested in is comparing these two offenses. If I told you at the beginning of the year one of these offenses would be humming, are you surprised that it's the Seattle Seahawks, Clancy?
No. Because they drafted Zach Charbonnet for a reason out of UCLA, and he's fully healthy again, so both those guys are going to be out there. They've got Kenneth Walker Jr. When you brought in Cooper Kupp, I didn't think Cooper Kupp was done by any stretch. No. He's a great complementary, third option now. He's going to play forever. Yeah. He's going to play forever. The dude catches everything. You put him in the slot. You put him next to a stud wide receiver. He's going to be great. He's got no ego. And then JSN showed all of the makings of a dude who was ready to pop. And say what you want about Sam Darnold, I was not as high on him. And listen, they're probably top 5 offense because they beat the Saints by 1,000 this past weekend. Yeah. So that kind of tips the scales. Sam Darnold in a controlled environment is a good quarterback. We saw it from last season. He's an NFL quarterback. I don't think people understand. And Jamil, Taylor Heineke, Ryan Tannehill, before he was Ryan Tannehill, you've played with some very quote unquote mid quarterbacks who can eat you apart if they've got time. Sure. They're quarterbacks. It's like having an NBA player who's the 13th guy on the bench or 12th guy on the bench. You leave him open wide open 3, he's going to make it. Yeah. They're NBA players. So overall, no, I'm not surprised. They're deeper on offense than the Cardinals are.
Yeah, I'm not surprised either. I think Sam Darnold can sling it. This is, he's got it done. Yeah, he can sling it. He can make every throw. He's got weapons. JSN, Cooper Kupp. I mean, he's got a running game. I'm not shocked. The defense in Seattle, they are known for playing good defense. I don't care who's been there, they figure it out at some point. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Continue, Clancy. I don't want to change the conversation if you have another point.
Byron Murphy coming out of Texas and trading for Leonard Williams, like their defensive front it's been ridiculous. I mean, they revitalized Carlos Dunlap's career over there. Like it doesn't matter. Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois, the 5th overall pick, I think, a couple years ago. Like they know
Maffe's a first rounder.
Was go top 20, not top 10. And they're like, nope, that's our guy. And he's been there. So it's like that defense. This is the offensive. The big test for the Cardinals offensively is going to be the offensive line. It's like if Harris plays, he was limited the last 2 weeks, even though they're walkthroughs, they're not actual practices after a Sunday night game. Like Monday, they're like, this is our theoretical injury report. Today, there was a walkthrough. This is what would happen if we actually practice today. Paris you hope that he's on track to play. Having Tip Ryman back is very, very big because they're going to bring a 4-man front, and it's going to look like they're bringing 6. So, like, they're going to have to really figure that out. That's the biggest point here. I don't know if I jumped the gun on that going to the next segment, but that's it. If they can protect Kyler Murray, they got a shot.
I really want to get Jamil's, perspective on, kind of getting ready for a Thursday night game in that next segment, because I think that's a really interesting point that you kind of brought up there, Clancy, so in terms of injury reports and everything. But while we're on this topic of discussion, who is the better quarterback right now, Sam Darnold or Kyler Murray?
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I mean, he's slinging it. He's slinging it.
I'm not fighting with you.
No, Sam Darnold.
No, I'm not being combative, Ben. I'm just saying that's my answer. Sam Darnold's, they're putting up points, man. Like, they're putting up points. And so I would have to say different philosophies. They're averaging 30 points a game, 29.3 points a game. Like, and their defense is giving up, I think, 15.
And the Cardinals haven't scored more than 20 points offensively all year.
Yeah. Sam Darnold.
I'd have to think about that a little bit harder. I guess you guys have peer pressured me into Sam. When Sam Darnold came out of the draft years ago, same year as Baker Mayfield, I was super high on him. I was hoping the Cardinals would be able to snag him. I believe that was the same year as Josh Rosen, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And Sam Darnold went to the Jets, and he kind of, was pretty bad for a long time. And he went over with Kevin O'Connell and now has revitalized his career, I guess, with the Seattle Seahawks as well. The last 2 tastes in my mouth of Sam Darnold with the Vikings, he was abysmal in those games. He wasn't very good at all when it comes to that game against the Lions and that game against the Rams, which was in Phoenix for a playoff game. So maybe I'm too focused on that Sam Darnold. I just didn't think it was so clearly Sam Darnold to this point. And that leads me to the other point. Is Mike McDonald the better head coach out of Jonathan Gannon and him right now, even he's only been here through 2 seasons?
Maybe he's got a better support staff around him. Possibly.
Well, he didn't last year. Their offensive coordinator was terrible last year.
Yeah,
Buddy,
for sure.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah. I would like all right. So I want to ask you this: if you were to swap QBs, Kyler's on the Seahawks, Sam Darnold's on the Cardinals. I think Cardinals,
Seattle would still win.
You think Seattle would still win?
I'm not ready to have that conversation. 27-21.
27-21.
Yeah, I'm not telling you who wins.
Same.
That's just going to be what I'm going to say when I don't want to answer something. And
by the way, I'm doing that this week just if you guys want my prediction.
Hashtag analysis. No, like here's the thing: Sam Darnold has made throws of late. And listen, if I would take Sam Darnold's bad play if the Cardinals won 14 games this year, like if Kyler Murray has a stinker in the playoffs after winning 14 games, yeah, I'd take that. Sam Darnold has done more than Kyler Murray has. I think you just put a period there.
Has he?
Yeah. Sam Darnold was 11 years old when he got drafted. Sam Darnold's younger than Kyler Murray, I think. And he's been in the league for...
You're saying that Sam Darnold has accomplished more in the NFL than Kyler?
Not numerically speaking. Kyler's the second quarterback in the history of football to have, the passing yards and rushing yards in the first 85 games. But, as a starter, last year, Sam Darnold accomplished more. He had the best season. Kyler Murray's never had that good of a season.
Well, 2021, Kyler was the MVP for 10 weeks.
7.
And what I'm saying is neither guy has a playoff win. Both guys been to the playoffs. One rookie of the year. I think it's close. You know what? I'm switching up my answer. I do think Kyler's still the better quarterback. That can change come Thursday, though.
Yeah, regardless, like going into Thursday night, this game means everything to the Cardinals and less to Seattle. Like Seattle's the Steelers of the NFC. 10 games make the playoffs every year. They don't know, it just happens. They win 10 games, they make the playoffs every year. Geno doesn't matter. And the Cardinals wish they had that problem. So this is everything for the Cardinals, especially with what happened this past Sunday. That's like, we went from, this is going to be really fun this year, to there could be a red alert if they lose 27-3 on Thursday night.
Oh, God.
Like, truly.
Yeah. Let's get over to predictions. As I do think there's a few different things. Must-win game, prediction, must-win games, predictions. Let's get Jamil's perspective on Thursday night football games as well, and why I'm sure he strongly dislikes them as a player, but we'll get his answer to that next. First, today's show brought to you by our friends over at Game Time. God, I love the freaking Game Time app. I love talking about this place. The NFL season is back, and honestly, there's nothing better than being in the stadium surrounded by fans cheering on your team. But let's be honest, getting tickets can be a hassle between queues, login screens, and price jumping at checkout. It's frustrating. That's why I use Game Time, the app that gives the advantage back to fans. Game Time is fast, easy, and backed by the Game Time guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included. So the price you see is actually the price you pay. Listen, I've used Game Time numerous different times. For me, it's whether it's going to a concert or going to Cardinals games. My favorite feature, undoubtedly, is that I am able to see exactly where I'm going to sit before I even buy the ticket. Is my view obstructed? Am I not going to like my seating spot? Am I down the third baseline? Am I down the first baseline? Am I behind home plate? Am I behind the visitor's end zone? The home team's end zone? It's great. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKDOWNNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go download Game Time today. Jamil, before we get into predictions, I'm very curious. One, why do you hate Thursday night games? And two, what is the preparation like for a player? Let's say like for Kyler or one of the bigger guys on these team.
Yeah, I'll say this: a Thursday night game early in the season is much better than a Thursday night game later in the season, if you ask me. Just from a standpoint of wear and tear, and also you're kind of still in the mode of practicing hard, early in the year. Later in the year, it gets a little difficult when you're trying to it's easier on the body's post game because you get that long break, but you don't get the practice reps in which you want to feel comfortable leading into a game. The playbook is typically watered down. It's good that, this is a division opponent. You know them, they know you. It's kind of like we don't have to do a ton of study around what they're doing. So I just think, man, it's hard. It's hard from a standpoint of obviously, going out and playing 4 days later. Typically, guys don't start to feel better until Thursday, but it's early in the year. The Cardinals have a relatively, I would say, young offense in terms of skill players and guys like that, but it's difficult, man. It's just luckily they're at home. That's a good thing. They don't have to travel. And so it takes some pressure from a standpoint of the body off of them, but it's a weird deal. Thursdays are a weird deal.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Listen, I had a lot of wear and tear when I was playing, and it's something that still sticks with me to this day. So we talked about Jamil's past. Let's talk about the Cardinals too. So when it comes to Thursday night,
can I guess the last time they won a Thursday night game?
It wasn't 2021.
No,
wasn't the New Orleans game a Thursday night game?
Oh, dude, good pull. That's absolutely right. That was the Marco Wilson, Isaiah Simmons.
The Marco Wilson
pick six games.
I think it was Andy Dalton. Yeah. I think it was Thursday. It could have been Monday. I don't know.
No, it was Thursday. That's a good call. Good call.
People always underestimate the Seahawks, including myself. They've owned the Cardinals.
Yep.
They've big-bodied the Cardinals for recent memory over the last couple of years. Going into Thursday night, if the Cardinals can score points, they have a very good chance of winning. If they're kicking field goals, they don't. Like if they score under 16 points, I don't see them winning, 15-13 or something like that. I think this offense from the Seahawks, regardless of how good the Cardinals defense has been, even if they struggle early, will start to wear the Cardinals defense down, just like San Francisco did towards the end if the Cardinals don't put up any points. Just like Jamil said, turning the ball over for the defense is super important. Kyler Murray not turning the ball over. If the Cardinals win the turnover battle, give up less than 2 sacks, and can get pressure on Sam Darnold, like the Cardinals can definitely win this game. I think you'd be an insane person to pick them. Like ain't no way I'm picking the Cardinals to win on Thursday. I'm sorry. Like
God.
That would be I would be doing a disservice to Locked On Cardinals and Cardinal Squad Show viewers and listeners to pick the Cardinals.
Yeah. You got to
Prove
manage
it.
your expectations, dude. You got to
God,
manage
dude, we're already here, man. It's week 4,
But
and
it
we're
could
already saying
absolutely
this.
pendulum swing even further into the positive if the Cardinals win 27-10 or 27-17. It would erase them. They'd be 1-1 in the division, and they'd have a couple winnable games, even though Indy's tougher than we expected. Like, it changes the entire landscape of the rest of the year if they go to 3-1 instead of 2-2.
Is it a must-win game, Clancy?
I don't like the term must-win game. Every game you're supposed to like. I don't. They got to get to 10, and these are the winnable games.
If they win this game, how much better do you feel about playoffs? If they lose this game, how much worse do you feel about playoffs?
10%, because they'll
Each
be
way?
10% closer to the goal. 10 games is the goal. 2-3 is a lot bigger than 2-2. Like this is a must-win game. Would be if they're playing Carolina this week, or they're playing a team they must beat. Those are the ones that are must wins because you got to have them. Must wins don't matter until your back is against the wall for playoff contention. That's the only time I use that term.
What's your give me your score prediction? Just so we know you think Seattle's going to win, but give us your score prediction while we're here.
27-21. I don't know. Like the Cardinals can win. If this game is in the mid 40s to 50s, which I don't see happening because of how good the defenses are, Cardinals can get a win. If it's under 40 points, the Cardinals lose. I don't see it. So what I think is going to happen, Cardinals lose 17-13.
Damn. Jamil, you want to – now would be a really good time for Sunshine and Rainbows. Jamil.
Be an adult, bro.
Nah, listen. 27-14.
Tell us why.
27-14. 27-14. I think Seattle's going to win this game.
Yeah.
I do think this game is much more on a Richter scale. This game is heavy on the Cardinals to win. If we don't see a hungry, determined team, I'm a little worried because you drop 2 division games right off the bat.
Yeah.
And that, especially in this division, is tough to come back from. We'll be able to tell early on what team we're getting. If they come out and it's 3-and-out and it's, things aren't looking like productive, the Cardinals could be in it for a long night. That's not to say I don't think the Cardinals can win this game. That's just my prediction. I think 27-14 Seahawks.
Good.
And I saw someone ask if I can block Williams. No.
Hey, don't worry, I got it. I got you right here.
No, I don't want to. Do not want to. That guy's a handful.
The last time you dealt with a Williams, you retired, remember?
Well, yes, and I was actually on the Giants, so I was practicing against Leonard Williams. So I don't want to see any guy with the last name Williams on the back of his jersey. I'll pass.
0-2 in the division is a big deal. What is kind of going under the radar, burying the lead a little bit, is the Seattle Seahawks are also facing an 0-2 hole in the division. So as much as I do think they're coming into this game and, feeling themselves a little bit after putting a freaking, BTA to the New Orleans Saints, I think that they're coming in relatively just as hot and understands the expectations and the magnitude of this game. What I will say is, here's my Sunshine and Rainbows take that I actually do believe in. The Arizona Cardinals are coming off a game where they were wildly embarrassed. Drew Petzing, I think a lot of people more than ever is calling for his job. Jonathan Gannon, from people like myself, is questioning his leadership and honestly his the way he wants to call a game. And I think when you combine all those things, embarrassment to a team that beat you with their third stringers in a game you probably should have won, Petzing, people are calling for his job, and Jonathan Gannon, people are questioning him, including myself. I do think the Cardinals should come out with their hair on fire and have something to prove on Thursday night. And here's a big thing. They don't have to travel. A short week, Seattle's got to travel here. So they're sore, and they got to get on a plane.
They ain't that sore. They just whooped up on. They just whooped
and the
up
Cardinals
on,
have to get on a plane to come home. It's not like they were already at home. They were in San Francisco last week.
Yeah,
they got to come home too.
They're much more acclimated, and they're in their home arena. We can't act like that isn't something. I don't think it's everything. I think it's 5-10%, but it's not. It is something. With that being said, agreeing here with Clancy, it would be a fanboy take of me to say that I think this team's going to win this game. I don't think it's. I think we're going to be talking about the offense, Petzing's job, Kyler Murray's future. I hope I'm wrong, but I'll take Seattle to win this game 27-17. I think the Cardinals score a late touchdown, make it look closer than it really is. Seattle's just looks so much better right now.
There's one thing that is a guarantee. Well, there's two guarantees. If what Jamil said happens, where the Cardinals go run, get 3 yards, pass, incomplete, pass, incomplete, punt, the boos will happen immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this isn't something that, like, not only, and listen, everydayers.
There's going to be a lot of Seahawks fans.
Like, here's the thing. Arizona Cardinals, when Arizona Cardinals fans have expectations, they're always ballooned out of control. So when it comes, and so I guess that's fans in general. It's just part of fandom. 3 and out, boos immediately. Okay, that's one. Number two, the defense. I don't know, Ben, you're probably too young. You've probably seen Little Giants. Okay, have you seen Little Giants, Ben?
No.
Yeah, called it. So Little Giants is not only one of the best 90 minutes of cinema. Yeah, you can get there in a second. I need to get there.
What is wrong with you, bro?
Puerto Rico, what are we doing here? There was a point in the game where the defense of the Little Giants, everybody had Alka-Seltzer put in their mouth where it showed like they were salivating like they were rabid dogs. That's what this defense is going to come out as. They're going to come out with their hair on fire. Like, this is not something you're going to be seeing. Like, dude, this defense, I wish they were wearing black. Like, I wish it wasn't the color, the rivalry colors on Thursday. Like, this defense is going to be out for blood immediately. And that's only going to last for so long because they're human beings and they get tired. If the offense can't pull their weight, yeah, it's not going to be great. But you know for sure the defense will come out hot. Like, this is not something Nick Ralphs will mess with.
I'm so disappointed. I am so disappointed in you.
To be fair, it's a running joke with me on radio with my buddies that I have not seen a lot of movies. If it's not a Tom Cruise movie or something of that nature, I haven't seen it.
Do you even know football if you have not seen The Little Giants?
I think if you asked 2 of the 3 people on the panel, they'd probably say no.
What panel?
Yeah, right.
This is a panel. Okay, this is a panel.
Well, I know
he plays Madden, so that's fine. You know, it's no Icebox, but he plays Madden with fake people.
He doesn't even know who Icebox is.
I haven't seen. All right, listen. Let's have a good.
That's your job tonight. You need to watch that movie.
I haven't seen Field of Dreams. I haven't seen. What's the other one?
You've seen Remember the Titans, though, right?
No, never seen it.
Oh God! Oh,
I just never told you guys that. You guys would bring it up, but I just never. I never said anything. I didn't want to get shamed.
How did you get this gig? You have not seen Remember the Titans. You don't. You've never even been inspired, dog.
You probably seen Blindside, though, right? You probably saw Blindside, didn't you, Ben?
Oh my goodness.
You probably saw Blindside, the softer one. Remember the Titans is that dude.
I haven't even seen Blindside.
I have seen the Blindside.
Of course you have. You probably saw it with the wife. You thought it was a nice afternoon. Like, we're talking real football movies, not movies that were made up out of thin air. Okay?
Jeez.
Come on.
I don't know what to say, man. I don't know.
Watch Little Giants.
Watch Little Giants, bro. Relive. We're like.
You know what's crazy? I don't even
heal your inner child for once, man.
My inner child does need healing. That's true. But that's probably doesn't have anything to do with football. All right. With that being said, anyone else want to take one last blow? Something at me? I think it'd make everyone laugh.
Oh, you're stupid. I don't know. I had nothing. I don't actually mean.
I have seen Air Bud.
Yeah, you
course
have.
not.
Yeah, you have.
I watched Like Mike also, but you haven't seen some of the gems of history. I don't like it.
I love Like Mike.
Of course,
I love Like Mike.
Bro, this is disappointing.
you probably have all the Bow Wow CDs.
All right. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow us on all social media platforms here. We appreciate you guys tuning into the Cardinals Squad show. Friendly reminder, once the game is over, Clancy is going to go live. He'll do his 15, 20-minute spiel about the Arizona Cardinals, recapping that game against the Seattle Seahawks. And then directly after that, Jamil, Clancy, and I will jump together once again in a panel, discuss this game, dissect it, and hopefully for all of our sakes and for everyone watching the show, we're talking about a Cardinals win. But with that being said, for Owen, Michael, Back to Constitution, Darren, everyone in the chat, if I missed you, I'm sorry. I love you all the same. For Clancy, Jamil, myself, we will see you guys on Thursday night post Cardinals game.